It's arrived, bang on the 15-minute mark. Maybe they actually launched it at like... Must have launched it bang on 4 o'clock. Very punctual, very impressive. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Team Liquid versus Na'Vi in the grand finals of the ESL One Germany 2020 online tournament. Na'Vi managed to do a pretty good showing. They've made their way here all the way through the upper brackets. And they've pushed everyone away, but Team Liquid worked their way through the lower brackets, managing to 2-0 Secret, and then even 2-0 in Mud Golems, who also 2-0'd Secret. So Liquid, they're on top form at the moment. We'll see if Na'Vi's got what it takes to bat them away as well. Only time will tell. Na'Vi lead up with the Oracle and Void Spirit ban, two of the highest picks on the side of Liquid. Oracle's been grabbed 7 times, Void Spirit's picked 5 times. And they have decent win rate on them as well, so nice little bit of homework. But then Liquid, they ban out the Doom and the Lina. The Lina is always something that Iceberg's picked up a few times for the mid lane, and even the Doom on him or general. But Liquid lead up with the Rubik, who is actually their top most picked hero so far this tournament. 8 times, and they're currently 6-2 on him. So every time they grab it, and it's generally just in the hands of Insania, but he does a pretty good showing on it, and every time he manages to provide enough assistance for the rest of his team to keep themselves moving forward. Na'Vi, they respond by picking their most picked hero. Again, they've grabbed it 8 times, they're 5-3. So both teams starting off pretty comfortable here. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We could see Na'Vi with their second pick go for the Mars. It is a combo which they love playing. And it does have a quite high success rate with them as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that coming out. See what Liquid's going to grab up, whether they're going to go for their next support position, or if they thinking about grabbing their position 1 next. Possibly might just go for like a Spectre, perhaps. They're actually going to go with the Slardar. So that'll be in the hands of Boxy in the off lane. They've not lost a game yet when they've grabbed Slardar. Always pretty good showing on it so far, so even Na'Vi is going to be able to bring it down. And they're actually going to take the Spectre themselves. It's already securing that late game position 1 for the side of Na'Vi. Already Liquid's got a slight lineup which comes online relatively early. The Slardar, all he really needs is level 6. And as soon as he gets that Blink Dagger online, he can start making the map a really difficult place to be for Spectre. Just depends if Boxy's going to focus a lot of his efforts towards just trying to shut down V-Tune. So Liquid ban out Beastmaster. I imagine they'll probably ban out the Mars as well. And then Na'Vi. Get rid of the Lone Druid. Surprised that Liquid didn't just snatch up that Lone Druid. Seems like it is already left open after that first phase bans, and Koifer is an absolute demon on it. But they chose just to go for their safer picks of the Rubik and the Slardar instead. So Liquid are going to be after, they need to get at least one hero that can actually beat into the egg. The Lina's already been banned out. So there is the possibility of picking up the Snapfire. And Mickey has run it twice so far in the mid lane for the side of Liquid. So it could be a potential strat we see coming out again. Or if Na'Vi is going to maybe read into that and ban it out. We'll have to wait and see. So far, Na'Vi's is heavily focusing on those core position 1-2 roles. Not quite wanting to focus onto the Snapfire just yet, but I can definitely see the Snapfire being grabbed for Liquid if it's not banned out. And then likewise for this Na'Vi, I can see them picking up Mars if that's also not banned out by the side of Liquid. But I think if you're gonna pick Mars, I think they may need to ban out the Lifestealer. Lifestealer has such a free time against any Mars, just manages to pop that rage and run straight through. Never mind, Liquid are going to take away the Mars anyway, so it's not going to be that opportunity to come out. So if they're banning the Mars, maybe they're actually deciding to move away from the Lifestealer, because if you're planning on picking up a Lifestealer, there's not much point banning out on Mars. Unless, of course, they're expecting Na'Vi to use their last ban here to take the Lifestealer away, perhaps. Na'Vi decided what they want to get rid of. They're actually going to get rid of the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit's definitely a hero. As soon as he gets that Orchid, you can just jump straight onto the Phoenix, silence him up before he can actually get the egg off and try and bring him down in that amount of time. So it's securing the Phoenix that way. So we'll see if Liquid's still going to go for the Snapfire play. Taking the time to see what they want to pick up first. Maybe just going to try and grab General's Heroes, their first pick here. Well, not the first pick, but their third pick, technically. There is a Bat Rider in the pool. He's quite obnoxious for most people to lane up against. And it's a hero that General does play. And it's also a hero that Iceberg can also take into the mid lane if needs be. They're actually going to grab the Clockwork instead. This can be a general hero if they're going to run it as a core. But you tend to see it in that position 4 role, so we'll probably see that in the hands of Roger. And then Always Wanna Fly will be taking up that Phoenix in the position 5. But Liquid can snatch up the IO now, so looking for see what position 1 they're going to grab to pair up with this IO. Someone who can benefit from the ability to just move around the map super quick. Na'Vi are actually going to grab the Bat Rider now. So it'll be the Iceberg will be taking that Bat Rider in the mid, perhaps. Oh no, I think this will still be a general Bat Rider, and then Roger will be taking the Clockwork. But Liquid are actually going to grab the Faceless Void. Is going to be their core hero for this game. Very surprising that it's survived 2 separate ban phases, and then it's the last pick of the second pick phase. At the start of this tournament, he was super high in the current meta, and teams were either banning out or picking up in that first phase. But he's fallen back on priority a little bit, but he's still quite a dominant hero. See how Mickey is able to utilize him in this match. But there's still not a clear egg hitter on the side of Liquid though, which is a little bit worrying, especially seeing so in the fact that the Clockwork can always hook shot into people to give it a little bit of space, as well as the Bat Rider can lasso people up and just drag them around the egg and guarantee someone's going to get hit by that chain stun. So see if there's something for the last pick on the side of Liquid to be able to counter this egg a little bit more. I think Na'Vi, they're still after their... So it's both mid laners, I think, left for both teams to pick up. Perhaps Liquid might go for something like a Queen of Pain. It's another hero that builds into that Orchid that you can try and get on top of the Phoenix before he can use the egg. But It's quite risky though. If you're blinking in to hit that egg, you're still an easy target for the back rider to get on top of you. So it's quite a tricky choice for the side of Liquid now and what they want to go with. They're using up a large portion of their reserve time. They're going to take away the Tiny, and instant ban out the Death Prophet from the side of Na'Vi. Death Prophet a good hero to be able to actually carry on doing damage, even if she herself gets stuck in the chrono from her own Faceless Void, so pretty good ban out there for the side of Na'Vi. They're going to snap up the Viper. It wasn't actually banned out, and it's always a good counter to the Spectre, especially in the later portions of the game, just completely getting rid of Dispersion, which is a large portion of Spectre's power. So they will have that advantage, but still, they don't really have an egg hitter. So this is a pretty good Phoenix game, as long as if the Phoenix can actually get the egg off, or if he gets initiated on by Slardar, telekinesis up from the Rubik, even just get hit by the Chronosphere. So as long as if Always Wanna Fly is just in the correct position, this egg should be able to go off in a large majority of these fights. So we'll see what Na'Vi's going to snap up for their mid laner to combat this Viper in the mid lane. Na'Vi's actually going to go with the Dragon Knight. It's definitely a hero that has a bit of a sustainability with the Dragon's Blood. But the armor doesn't actually give you any helping hand with the magic damage that comes out from the Viper, so it's by no means going to be the easiest lane for Iceberg, but he shouldn't be killed unless he misplays a little bit. Even so, I think Koifer's going to have a little bit more of a dominant start in the laning phase. So it's actually a Tiger taking the IO this time. So we'll see if maybe it's going to be an aggressive IO Slardar lane. Just going to try and ramp up that attack speed, sorry. So Boxy and the Slardar can just whack out a lot of bashes onto Vici in this lane, try and make this really difficult place for him to farm. We'll see what the Phoenix is able to do to give him a little bit of protection. I mean, with the Fire Spirits as well, it's quite difficult for the Slardar to get those bashes off. So it's going to be an interesting lane for sure. But Insania's going to have to be really careful about his positioning in the Liquid safe lane. This General Roger, if he's ever slightly out of position, there's going to be nothing that Insane will be able to do to keep himself alive. Definitely going to be a difficult lane there for him. Even Mickey to some extent, because the early levels, the Time Walkers has got such a long cooldown, plus not even much cast range on it at all. So you can't just easily escape away from the flaming lassos. That free camera. Lakad Matatag! Normalin. Goddamn. The most spammed chat line in the entirety of Dota. Pretty close to Seb, I imagine. Bit of love there between Iceberg and Tiger. Sending them hearts. Nice bit of sportsmanship. Unless maybe it's a bit of a salty rivalry that I don't know about. But who knows? Well, it doesn't look like anything too crazy is going to be happening here with the bounty runes. Maybe Always Wanna Fly No, he's not going to try and go for that like Icarus dive steal, especially seeing as how he won't have the fire spirits for level 1. Just make his laning stage a little bit more difficult. So it looks like Liquid are going to easily be able to get these bottom 2 bounties. Let's see if Roger in general are going to pressure Mickey a little bit to stop him from getting the top bounty as well. Always one of Flyers actually rotating around up here as well. I don't think there's much that Mickey can do to contest this. Senya's there in the river as well. He's actually going... No, he goes back. Never mind. So it will just be a 2-for-2 split on the bounties. Mickey not choosing to show his face. Oh, that bounty rune. Haha! Hilarious. Mickey already starting with a magic stick, as you'd expect when you're up against a... well, you think he's going to be up against a Bat Rider, but Navi's actually completely swapped this around. General's gone to solo the offlane bottom, and V-Tune's just come up top, so... Nice little swap around there from the side of Navi. I don't think they were quite expecting this, so Mickey's not going to have the easiest time at all getting any last hits here. Okay, juking and jiving, dodging all those fire spirits. So we'll see if Navi is going to stick all 3 heroes up here, or maybe if they're going to try and rotate someone down towards the bot lane, perhaps. Oh my god. Can't believe it's been on the goddamn first view again. Oh my god. So see in the mid lane, Koifa's only just got a slight lead on CS, only 2 above of Iceberg. But I think as a few more points start going into this Nether Toxin, we'll probably see Koifa start spamming that out, and then Iceberg might struggle a little bit to stay in this lane. Meanwhile down bottom, General is having an alright time down here actually against Boxy and Tiger. Maybe we'll see once he hits that level 3 mark, Boxy and Tiger might try and make some sort of play towards General. But even still, he's able just to keep his distance. Nah, it's not your bad, Arinos. It's me being absolutely terrible. You need to stop doing it. It's so bad. It's so bad. So, in the top lane, Mickey is only slightly behind that of V-Tune, but despite the fact that there is actually 3 heroes up here, he's doing a relatively good job on still managing to get some of these last hits. Oh, we went down bottom. As soon as Tiger and Boxy got that level 3, they made a move straight onto General, and they actually get the first blood. So now we'll probably start to see this offlane for the side of Liquid start snowballing. So General's going to have to be super careful now about how he's hanging around here. Can't try and go for any sort of sticky napalm firefly moves, try and get any kills. Just going to have to constantly stay back behind them creeps. Still in the mid lane, CS is super even. 29 and 2 to Koifa and 26 and 4 to Iceberg. Up top. Feel like maybe Navi wants to try and make some sort of move onto Mickey there, but not quite close enough. He's still just got that time walk away. I mean, these three can apply quite a lot of pressure onto Mickey, but there's no way to actually stop him from just time walking away. The cogs from Roger, he can just time walk over the top of those. There's no stun or anything from Always Wanna Fly or even V-Tune, so they won't actually be able to get any kills onto Mickey, I imagine. Five-minute bounty's up. Roger's actually rotate around bottom to try and secure these up. Who will actually win the clicking war? And Tiger actually gets the bounty rune. But even just tether straight back up to Boxy and get away. But that does leave Roger to be able to just move in and get the second bounty. Yeah, look at that General. Getting whacked on by Boxy there, but he knows he can just pop the Firefly, go up to the high ground. There's nothing that the two on the side of Liquid can actually do to stop him. But even still, that's 3 bounties going towards the side of Na'Vi. Even General just left the bounty for General to pick up. So, managed to fill up his bottle there. Keeping himself nice and sustained in this lane. CS score between the two position ones on both teams are pretty much identical. So I think we'll probably see a rotation come out eventually from the side of Liquid. Koifa move around up here. I'd say Iceberg would make a rotation, but until he actually gets his blink dagger, it's going to be pretty difficult for him to get on top of V-Tune. Not V-Tune, sorry, Mickey. But as we see, in typical Liquid fashion, Insanios has been doing such a good job at making stacks in the jungle. Koifa's has come around, used Never Toxin, easily able to farm up these stacks. It's definitely something that Liquid have been prioritising throughout this tournament, and even throughout just all of their games previously to this tournament as well. Just Insanios is so on the fact he knows his timings when he needs to go into the jungle and start making these stacks up. Mickey's about a third of his level away from finishing up, not finishing up, but getting his Chronosphere. So perhaps we could see a rotation from Koifa when he hits that. And they might try and make a move onto V-Tune then. So these will be able to lock him down and then the Never Toxin just sit on top of him. Always on fire take. Quite a bit of harassment from Insania. Does have a salve though. Just better heal back up. Finally, Mickey using the Chronosphere onto Always Wanna Fly and V-Tune. There is enough damage to actually bring down the Phoenix. So even though it's not like a super high priority kill, it's a kill nonetheless. You don't really have to be saving the Chronosphere at the early portions of the game. Sure, it's a 2.5 minute cooldown, but a kill's a kill. Anything just to help accelerate this game a little bit more, they'll gladly use it up. And Iceberg, he's popped his dragon form, but Koifa just keeps positioning himself around here, so he's not giving any sort of opportunity for Iceberg to get any early damage onto this tier 1 tower. You know, it's like flying dragon lizard against flying dragon lizard. We'll just throw a couple of hits in there, but just the presence of Koifa walking up to him is enough for Iceberg just to run away. Normally. V-Tune, he is a little bit ahead of Mickey in terms of actual net worth, but the fact that V-Tune's been in the tri-lane this entire time, and Mickey's got 2 levels on top of him. There is that slight disparity there, which might mean Mickey gets a little bit of a head start in this game. Just means he can farm up that tiny bit quicker. Down bottom, Koifa's doing a TP down to the bot tier 1. Maybe thinking about making a move onto general, but he's already fallen back. Even this Firefly just farming up this creep stack. Koifa's hanging about in the trees. Really wants to make some sort of move here. Even Tiger rotate around the side. Rod of Atos there on Koifa as well, keeping general lockdown and Nevertoxin. One little hit from Boxy to bash him. Ain't nowhere to fly. And then now Liquid's able just to take this stack. That general very nicely wounded for him. Do you see another chrono up in 30 seconds? So perhaps we might see Mickey try and use that. Look like Roger tried to go for the bottom bounties, but Tiger gets there before him, snatches it away, and that's even just Roger giving away another kill. Boxy actually taking the double damage. Even done a smoke up, flying bot lane, but there's no one here. He's not going to get anything out of this. Meanwhile, Mickey, General's right up top. He does have Flame Lasso available, so he's probably going to use it. Mickey, he did have the Chronosphere online, but choosing not to drop that just to save himself. So that will be the position 1 for the side of Liquid falling. Even Iceberg's rotated around here now with the second Dragon form. This should be the tier 1 going down. It just seems like Liquid, they're expecting someone from the side of Na'Vi to TP down here. But Koifa's already rotated around, locking down Iceberg. The relocate comes up top. Iceberg, super easy food there, especially with the corrosive haze on top of him. Just takes way too much damage. Tiger will actually leave Boxy up top just to carry on farming that lane out. As Mickey is down here to soak up the farm himself. So we'll see what item Mickey's going to go for next. Whether if he's going to try and go for like a farming build with a Battle Fury to try and outpace the Spectre perhaps. Or maybe he wants to just come online a little bit more early. And it looks like that is the case. He's going for an S and Y instead, so he wants to start getting involved in these fights a little bit more. It does mean that towards the later portions of the game, he won't be able to scale as quickly. But even still, I think the game plan for Liquid here is hopefully to try and close this game out before Vichu get too fat. Vichu got the Manta Style as his first queued up item, and then followed by the Diffusal Blade as well. So the Manta, it will be able to purge off the Corrosive Haze. But I think that's the only actual status effect that will be purged off, apart from the poison attacks as well. There's a couple of things that will purge. Oh, and the Rod of Datos. So yeah, it's definitely a worthwhile item for Vichu there. Looks like maybe Mickey committing the Chronosphere onto Always Wanna Fly with the Mask of Madness on top and the attack speed buff that comes up from Tiger as well, and the overcharge. Always Wanna Fly just disappears in a second. Meanwhile up top, looks like the rest of Na'Vi making moves onto Boxy. Roger's actually going to fall for this, and they're making straight onto General as well. The relocate. Mickey and Tiger didn't even need to get involved. Just Koi from Boxy alone is able to take them both on. Vichu just has to run away. Boxy, he knows Vichu's going to be around it. He actually spots him out. Charging forward with the Blink Dagger already finished up. Blade Mail was popped, going to force Boxy to fall back, but even still, he's just poking a prod at Vichu, and he wants to delay his farm as much as he can. Yeah, Vichu, a little bit of a risky area, especially seeing as though he's got the Corrosive Haze on him. Looks like maybe Boxy was thinking about making another move towards the triangle again. Decides against it though. So it's really nice timings from Boxy here. Got really early Blink Dagger. And he's still matching pretty much the net worth of everyone else at the top of the net worth chart. See what he's going to build into next. He's got a casual cloak at the moment. See if he's going to move that into a Hood of Defiance, perhaps. It looks like there's going to be a smoke on smoke action. Actually breaks with Tiger and Koi for the front. Spots into Roger. The box is going to jump straight onto the clockwork. Taking him down a lot of damage. Always wants to fly to the back. Not going to pop his egg just yet. The Navi's actually just going to retreat. Leave Koi for to die. They actually get the lift onto Iceberg. He pops his BKB and the egg's in the background as well. But the rest of Liquid just going to fall back. There's two big items and spell usages already. Chronosphere's still not for another 28 seconds, so they don't have any more utility to get another catch on the side of Na'Vi. But even still, it's a lot expended there from Na'Vi, and they don't get anything out of it. Looks like General popped his Firefly, thinking about maybe wanting to go forward, but nice jump forward for Boxy. He gets the stun onto two of them. General's dropping super low, and he's just going to fall down. Roger's re-engaged with the hook shot. But it's only just to push the members of Liquid back. And they're just going to carry on siege in this tier 1 tower. And Na'Vi need to be careful. The Chrono is online now. So if they step out of position, it's going to be super... Oh, meanwhile, Boxy finds Roger again. Roger just falls. With the overcharge with the Tiger onto the Boxy, just hits so damn fast.
Normally.
I think they even Iceberg would struggle to survive against that, and he's got 4 points into the Dragon Blood already. So this is really starting to look rough now for the side of Na'Vi. They're 6k down at 16 minutes in. Boxy just keeps the pressure forward, jumps on, gets another stun onto Iceberg, and General's actually come around now, connects the lasso onto Boxy. Telekinesis there, but the Dragon Tail's just in range. It looks like Boxy will actually fall for this. So finally he goes down. This could be Iceberg perhaps finally taking this tier 1 mid, but the side of Liquid, they're all gathered around. Looking like they probably want to defend this. We'll see if Mickey is going to rotate around as well. He's still got his Chrono ready. Iceberg's take a lot of damage. The Sunray's trying to heat him up, and he's forced to use his BKB charge again. That's the second charge used. Mickey trying to find something a little extra there, but not quite close enough. This is looking really bad for Iceberg now. This is 10-second and 9-second BKBs used purely for defensive purposes. Just has to run away. And Liquid know this. No Dragon form, no BKB on him either, so they're just going to go straight to the Roshan pit. There is an egg available, but still no lasso either for another 40 seconds. Looks like maybe always want to fly is trying to position himself to get the jump forward, but Boxy gets the stun onto General. He's able to axe Firefly. One more hit and he will actually fall before he can get onto the high ground to survive. Liquid is going to fall straight back into the pit again. But they spot where that rocket flare came from, so they realise the position from Roger. And Sania's trying to notice the block, but Roger actually finds the opening. He doesn't get to kill all the Aegis still, so he ends up just throwing his life away. But, I mean, you're a Clockwork, your team's behind, it's something you just have to try. Need something to keep your team in this game. Relocate there from Tiger and Mickey, thinking they were trying to find someone. They will actually find Vincere, but Boxy's just going to get the jump forward first. Trying to stun lock in place, and the batteries come out from Mickey as well. Vincire's game's just getting even more delayed now. It is only his first death, but he's still yet to finish his Manta style. 1500 gold away. Meanwhile, Mickey on the Faceless Void got his SMY finish, got the Mask of Madness, and another Grand sat in his pocket. Maybe just waiting to see what he wants to go for. I mean, it doesn't really need to build damage purely for the fact that the Corrosive Haze makes him do a lot anyway, but he's still going to grab the MKB. So anyone he does catch out is just going to vanish in a second. He's like Insane and Michaela trying to find General. The special dagger is slow onto him there. But Mickey ended up choosing to jump forward. I'm just going to let the back rider fly away. See if perhaps Liquid are going to try and force down this tier 2 before the 20-minute mark. But there is still glyph available, so it will be enough to force them back. Only another 30 seconds away. We'll probably see Liquid just force this tower down. Would be a really nice bonus just to give themselves an even bigger XP lead. Mickey just jumps straight on top of it. No one on the side of Navi's here to stall this out, so that will fall. And that'll be the 20-minute outpost. So does the lead getting even larger now for the side of Liquid. Looks like Vincere is finally going to have his Manta style finished up. So it's a small light for the side of Navi, but I mean, this item, it's not exactly like it's going to make you deal infinite amount of damage in these fights. Okay, yeah, she just finds a solo general, and he falls. Zero things you can do to survive against that. Just the Chronosphere drops straight on top of him. I mean, it just shows that Liquid, they don't even need the Chronosphere to take fights. They're happily just going to spend that to take down these 3 kills. Well, they do find Iceberg, pops his BKB, and it will just force him back, as well as the Dragon form as well. But, again, all Liquid needs to do is disengage. Actually, Mickey, he does okay. He's tried standing toe-to-toe there with Vincere. But again, as I was saying, Iceberg's BKB is down to 7 seconds now. And this is Dragon Ball's use. They sort of need to try and find something with this. Especially seems like the fact that Chronosphere is down as well. With Mickey, he's just so confident. He's just farming really close to the entirety of Na'Vi, just taking away all the farm in their jungle. So the only thing that Na'Vi actually have to farm up was the triangle and the few creeps that do come their way over the river. Liquid, they're just going to smoke up, trying to keep applying their pressure. Boxy leading the charge. We'll see who he finds first in this hunting mission. They spot Roger, and that's going to be a super quick kill. General was up on the high ground, so no one actually knows he's there. Even with his own BKB ready now. The Sentry Ward did spot out General then for a second. Boxy and Tiger actually jump forward and find him. The lasso's committed just to try and keep him alive, but I ain't going to do anything. So he still falls. This hunting pair from Tiger and Boxy is just so damn lethal. Even a BKB now online for Boxy. Queued up for the Aghanims as his second item. Oh. And Boxy even finds grab onto Iceberg. He tries going for the BKB TP out, but the bash is coming from Mickey there, just pierce for it. And that's just another death for Iceberg. So what's it down to now? 6-second BKB timer. And it's only 23 minutes in. I mean, it's really difficult to just go for a BKB TP out when you're up against a Faceless Void and a Slardar. Both of them having those BKB piercing bashes. But Na'Vi, they're eager to find something. They're going to start making a move towards Insania down bottom. It is just a position 5, but they'll take wherever they can get at this point. Hookshot forward, keeping him locked down in place. And Liquid, they're just going to let him fall. Boxy and Koifu, they're close by, maybe thinking of grabbing something else. That was the MKB finished up for Mickey as well. And Na'Vi, they've gone for a smoke up. I think this is purely defensive though, they're just hiding. Realising the side Liquid is probably hunting them down right now. But they're not actually, no one's TPing out. They're all holding their positions at the moment. And they are actually behind the side of Liquid, so they might get a nice flanking maneuver here. Iceberg's even ready and waiting on the trees. He actually pops the drag down, jumping forward onto Mickey, but he doesn't stun him. Why didn't he stun him? Mickey's able just to walk it off. They'll actually find the kill onto Tiger. When Mickey drops down the Chronosphere onto General, the egg is committed, so it will pop and hold Boxy in place at least. But it's not like there's any sort of other follow-up damage from the side of Na'Vi to really exploit that. Roger's now just getting focused down by Koifer. Boxy finds another kill and always want to fly in the background. And the rest of Na'Vi, they're just hiding. Nothing they can do. Absolutely nothing they can do. Even a buyback from General there to try and get him re-involved, but he doesn't even manage to use his lasso at all. I don't get why Iceberg didn't stun Mickey when he blinked daggered on top of him. He just let him walk away. I would have thought they would have tried to chain lock him down, especially with the General. Maybe getting a nice jump onto with the Flame and Lasso as well, but they decided not to. But instead, he would commit the Flame and Lasso onto Koifer now, but Boxy's immediately here with the response, as well as the lift from Insania, keeping him locked in place. Koifer is getting pretty low. Looks like he will eventually fall, but the heals are coming up from Tiger, making it so he survives as long as possible. Boxy himself is dropping low, but finally V-Tune will fall. And that's just all the damage from Na'Vi ran out now. The rest of them are just food for the side of Liquid. General tries to go for the Blink TP out onto the high ground, but he can't escape. Iceberg is the only survivor for the entirety of Na'Vi. And, I mean, Iceberg's just pretty useless in these fights. He has a BKB, that's it. That's all he has. Liquid is going to keep the pressure going. They know there's no buyback from General. Gone for 45 seconds, and even if he was here, there is no Flame and Lasso that he could have used. Liquid actually just going to fall back with that glyph. Large majority of the side of Na'Vi is respawning, so they don't want to try and play too risky. Look at this pair, they're just so damn quick. Speed races. So what is V-Tune building up as his next item? He's going for the Radiance. I suppose it will... I mean, it applies a little bit of a mischance, sure, but Mickey's already got an MKB, so that's going to do absolutely nothing to him. And then Boxy's the only one else that really cares, but it's a very expensive item, and all you're doing is really getting a little bit of mischance on the Slardar. The damage is pretty negligible that comes out from the actual Radiance burn. But even still, the item itself gives him like plus 80 damage or something, or is it 60? It is still 60, so the damage doesn't even get upgraded, it's just the normal damage from a Sacred Relic. So maybe Liquid, now they're just waiting for the second Roshan to be up. Oh, and speak of the devil, he spawns. Neither team has any couriers or anything nearby to actually scout it out yet. But the Age is now finished for Boxing and an immediate smoke up from the rest of Liquid as well. They're going on a hunting party into their own jungle. They might have ran into V-Tune if they head up. But it looks like V-Tune will actually be safe. The Spectral Dagger, he doesn't actually reveal himself in the lane, so he will stay alive. Meanwhile, Koifer actually gets the jump onto General, tried to hide in the Roshan pit. He falls pretty damn quickly. Boxy's even hunting always want to fly now. He's going for the TP out. Oh, but the Fire Spirit just wears off, and Boxy's able to just whack him for that final little punch. Even Roger, what are you doing there, man? I don't know where he was going. So he just gets found out as well, and that's 3 quick kills for the side of Liquid. And they realise the V-Tune's over here. They're trying to hunt him down. They're not going to go for the tier 3s. Looks like they're just going to fall back, clear up this Roshan. Na'Vi, they could potentially mount some sort of counterplay here. Roger would always want to fly. They're up in 6 seconds. But, nah, never mind. This Roshan's going way too quick. Especially with the Crows of Haze on top. Look at him disappear. Whew, that's painful. I don't think there's anything that Na'Vi can actually do to bring themselves into this game. They don't really have any sort of huge team fight ultimates that they can play around to like try and take a win. The Phoenix Egg is their only big ultimate, but all it takes is 8 hits. Boxy can even take that down pretty close to himself, especially with Tiger just giving him the power. The General's actually going to take the grab onto Mickey here. Looks like they will keep the stun lock in place. He does have the Aegis though. But the cheese, it actually manages to pop it in time and keep it alive. And the beautiful Chronosphere locking down onto everyone. He makes scrambled eggs out of Always Want to Fly as well. It looks like he might finally drop down, but no, he's still alive. He manages to time back up. Iceberg just falls down. Navi's in full retreat. Iceberg, Roger, sorry, he's just going to fall. It looked so good there for Navi to begin with, but Liquid quickly turn it around and Navi just tap out. They're done. They don't want to crush their own souls anymore by staying in this game for as long as they have to. It's a lovely first game there by Team Liquid. It looks like that aggressive tri-lane from the side of Na'Vi, it didn't actually provide him enough space for V-Tune to get his farm online, and it's just Boxy came online too early. It just started going around the map with Tiger, and anyone that they found was just quick food. Na'Vi just don't really have any sort of big saving skills or anything like that they can actually assist the rest of their teammates. So whoever gets found out is pretty much on their own. And as a result, Team Liquid take it 31-5. Massively dominant showing coming out there. And look at that, that's teamwork for you. Everyone just 1 death each. Really spreading it out, you know. They can't say that one particular person fed. Very diverse. But that is game 1 between Team Liquid and Na'Vi. Game 2 will be coming up in about 10 minutes or so. Hopefully, Na'Vi will be able to maybe just mix things up a little bit, adjust their playstyle, perhaps. Because it just seemed like they did not have a shot at all in that first game 1. But yeah, hopefully they're able to bring it back and make this grand finals of the ESL One Germany 2020 online tournament a spectacular one to witness. So hopefully I will see you guys for game 2.